Chapter 344. Miss Yuner, why do you say that? Mu Lianfeng's chopsticks paused for a few seconds, then he looked at Zhao Yuner and asked. You see, little animals are jealous of each other. If you treat one well, the other one will be unhappy. If you have 2 or more children and one of them is good, the other one will be unhappy. So, you might as well have a good child and there's no need to be biased. Miss Yuner, do you mean that you only want to have Daodu as your child in the future? You won't have any other children, right? Zhao Yuner nodded. Yes. Anyway, my Daodu is cute and sensible enough. I'll give my love to Daodu in the future, and Daodu won't be jealous of his younger brother or sister. Although Zhao Yuner's words were reasonable, it was the first time that Mu Lianfeng had heard such words. In this era, every family had a litter of children, especially rich families. If they had more wives, they would have more grandchildren. It was normal for ordinary farmers to have 5 or 6 children. Only one child was really rare unless it was infertile. Mu Lianfeng didn't know why, but there was a bit of sadness in his heart. If Zhao Yuner didn't want to continue having children, then if he married her one day, would there be no children between them? Seeing Mu Lianfeng in a daze, Zhao Yuner thought something was wrong, so she asked, Mr. Mu, what's wrong? Do you think I'm wrong? The corners of Mu Lianfeng's mouth curled into a beautiful smile. Inadvertently, there was a hint of bitterness in his smile. Miss Yuner is right, but I think it's not a bad thing to have more children at home. A child is too lonely. If Daodu has a younger brother or sister, there will be someone to play with Daodu. Hearing that, Zhao Yuner fell silent for a while. It seemed that Mu Lianfeng's words made sense. Daodu, who was eating on the table, put down his bowl and chopsticks. His beautiful eyes curved into crescents and he said to Zhao Yuner with a smile, Mom, Daodu wants a younger brother or sister so Daodu can play with them every day. Mom, if you have a younger brother or sister, Daodu won't be jealous. Zhao Yuner saw Daodu's excitement when he said that. Before she could say anything, Daodu asked in a soft voice, Mom, when can you give birth to a younger brother or sister for Daodu? This child, did she think that she could give birth to a child just because she wanted to? She had to get the man to cooperate. After all, giving birth to a child was a matter between 2 people. The problem is, I don't even have a man now. Zhao Yuner didn't know how to explain this to Daodu. After thinking for a while, she said to Daodu, Daodu, I can't give birth to a younger brother or sister for the time being, because I need to sleep with another man. Mom, don't you sleep with Dad every day? Then do you already have a younger brother or sister in your stomach? Daodu said as he ran to Zhao Yuner and reached out to touch Zhao Yuner's stomach. Zhao Yuner was stunned. Cough, cough. Mu Lianfeng, who was drinking soup, choked and coughed violently. Zhao Yuner smiled awkwardly at Mu Lianfeng. There was nothing between the 2 of them, but he made it seem like there was something between them. Chapter 345. Zhao Yuner began to educate Daodu. Daodu, I'm different from your father. You can sleep with me, right? So, it's impossible for us to have a baby. Don't tell anyone that your father is in our house. It's best if you don't tell anyone else about it. Daodu nodded his head as if he understood. Oh, mother, I understand. But, Mom, if you and Dad have a baby together, Daodu can sleep at Grandma's place tonight? Zhao Yuner didn't know what to say. This child. How embarrassing. Looking at Zhao Yuner's embarrassed expression, Mu Lianfeng gave Daodu a look of appreciation. He didn't dote on his son for nothing. Daodu, you're still young. There are many things that you don't understand. Your father and I aren't married yet, so we can't have a baby yet. I see. Daodu looked a little disappointed. Zhao Yuner touched Daodu's head and comforted him. It's okay, Daodu. It's okay if you don't have a younger brother or sister. You still have your uncle, Xiaomao and Xiaohe to accompany you. Daodu nodded after hearing Zhao Yuner's words. Zhao Yuner smiled awkwardly at Mu Lianfeng. Lord Mu, I'm just a child. Please don't laugh at me. Mu Lianfeng shook his head. It's okay. I think Daodu is quite cute. Zhao Yuner felt that she had been tricked by the 2 of them. Did the father and son collude with each other? In the afternoon, Zhao Yuner sent Zhao Tianlong and her 5th uncle to the town. Compared to Yang City, the town was much quieter. However, there were many shops in the town and most of them were businesses. Many farmers brought the produce from their fields to the town to buy. The overall price was also cheaper than in Yang City. Along the way, Zhao Tianlong did not say much, while Zhao Yuner and Zhao Wenxing chatted non-stop. Zhao Wenxing urged Zhao Yuner to get married. Zhao Yuner turned around and talked about Zhao Wenxing. 5th uncle, you're the one who should get married. Look at the younger generation in our family. They all have children, but you don't even have a wife. You should let Grandma take care of it for you. Zhao Tianlong listened from the side, smiled, and agreed, "Yes, fifth uncle, I also think that you can ask grandma to help you find a wife. Among us uncles you're the only one left." His nephew and niece spoke one sentence after another, making Zhao Wenxing a little embarrassed. "You guys are actually controlling your elders." Zhao Wenxing pretended to be angry and snorted lightly. "Fifth uncle, I'm not controlling you. I'm just concerned about you. You don't have to worry about my marriage and I don't need your grandma to help me talk about it. I have my own plans." As Zhao Wenxing spoke, his eyes darkened slightly as if he had thought of something. Seeing Zhao Wenxing's reaction, Zhao Yun'er felt that his words had a deeper meaning, so she smiled and asked, "Fifth uncle, have you already taken a fancy to a girl from another family?" Being teased by Zhao Yun'er like this, Zhao Wenxing's face unconsciously turned red. "You little girl, what are you thinking?" Okay, I won't say any more." Zhao Yun'er knew that Zhao Wenxing was a thin-skinned person. Zhao Yun'er first sent Zhao Tianlong to school, then sent Zhao Wenxing to his residence. Chapter 346. It looked a little shabby, but it was a brick house, which was slightly different from the thatched houses in the village. Zhao Wenxing rented a single room in a house. When they entered the courtyard, there was a young woman standing in the courtyard with a child on her back. The child was about 1 year old and she was shaking the quilt in the courtyard. Seeing Zhao Wenxing walking in, the woman smiled at Zhao Wenxing. "Brother Zhao, you're back?" When Zhao Wenxing saw the woman, a gentle smile appeared on his face. "Yes, I have to go to school tomorrow. You must be tired from the journey. Go in and have a rest. I've cleaned the house for you." "Xuanhuan, thank you. I'm a man and I don't know how to clean the house." Zhao Wenxing smiled shyly. "It's fine. It's no trouble." Zhao Yun'er followed behind Zhao Wenxing. Looking at the interaction between Zhao Wenxing and Jin Suizhuan, she felt that there was a subtle relationship between them. Jin Suizhuan also saw Zhao Yun'er following behind Zhao Wenxing, so she pointed at Zhao Yun'er and asked, "Brother Zhao, this is..." Zhao Wenxing introduced, "This is my niece. She used her family's donkey to send me to the town today." Jin Suizhuan smiled at Zhao Yun'er. "Come in and have a rest. I'll go get you a glass of water." Zhao Yun'er glanced at the woman in front of her. She was only in her 20s. Her facial features were considered pretty, but her face was a little sallow. At first glance, it was obvious that it was because she worked hard all year round and didn't eat well. "It's fine, I'll go back now." Zhao Yun'er declined. "Go in and have a rest. You must be tired from the journey. Drink some water." Jin Suizhuan said while pulling Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er couldn't resist Jin Suizhuan's enthusiasm, so she had to go in. Although the house was a little old, it was clean and tidy by Jin Suizhuan. It looked very comfortable. Jin Suizhuan took out a cup and poured a glass of cold water for Zhao Yun'er. There was also a cute 3-year-old girl in the house. His eyes were big and bright like stars. If she was a little fatter, she would probably be even cuter. Zhao Yun'er found that other than Jin Suizhuan and the 2 children, there was no one else. There were only women's clothes and children's clothes hanging outside to dry. He had a rough idea that Jin Suizhuan should be a widow. No wonder she felt that Zhao Wenxing's relationship with a married woman was somewhat ambiguous. It turned out that she didn't have a man. Did her 5th uncle fall in love with Jin Suizhuan? She didn't think that there was anything bad about Jin Suizhuan, but based on her understanding of old Zhao's family, if Zhao Wenxing really liked Jin Suizhuan, it was unlikely that anything would happen between him and Jin Suizhuan. Old Zhao's family would definitely not agree to let Jin Suizhuan marry into their family. Chapter 347. Okay. Zhao Yun'er and Zhao Wenxing both responded at the same time. Jin Suizhuan carried the child into the house. When a woman is breastfeeding, a man will always be embarrassed. After Jin Suizhuan left, Zhao Wenxing's gaze still fell on the direction Jin Suizhuan left. Zhao Yun'er waved her hand in front of Zhao Wenxing's eyes and said with a smile, "Fifth uncle, what are you looking at? She has already left and you are still looking. Are you interested in her?" Facing Zhao Yun'er's ambiguous smile, Zhao Wenxing's face turned red again. "Yun'er girl, don't talk nonsense. If someone heard it, it will not be good for Suizhuan's reputation." Zhao Wenxing was a bit serious. Zhao Yun'er did not continue to joke. She knew that this widow's door was full of troubles. "Big girl, come and see what Uncle Zhao has brought for you." Zhao Wenxing waved at the big girl. The big girl shyly walked towards Zhao Wenxing's side. "Come big girl, take it," Zhao Wenxing said. At the same time he took out a candy from his pocket and stuffed it into the big girl's hand. When the big girl saw the candy, her eyes lit up. She peeled a candy and stuffed it into her mouth. The sweet taste is what children like the most. Thank you, Uncle Zhao. The big girl smiled sweetly at Zhao Wensheng. Eat it. Uncle Zhao specially left it for you. Don't be polite. And then, Zhao Wensheng's eyes were full of love. Zhao Yun watched from the side. She felt that her fifth uncle was the big girl's biological father. Only a biological father would be so good to a child, right? Zhao Yun rested for a while and then left. When people were reminiscing, she always felt that she was a hindrance. When she returned to the village, it was not early. She estimated that she would be able to cook in a while. On the way, she met Gooden, who was carrying a wooden bucket back from the ridge. Seeing Zhao Yun, Gooden still went forward and smiled shyly. He greeted Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun also smiled at Gooden. She glanced at the bullfrog and a few toads in Gooden's bucket. Zhao Yun frowned and said to Gooden, Gooden, Aunt Yun told you that you can't eat this toad. It's easy to get poisoned if you eat it. Aunt Yun, I know. But my mother told me that toads can also make money. I can't tell. Gooden lowered his head and felt wronged. Zhao Yun's brows furrowed even deeper. This Qin Hailan, isn't she too greedy for money? They really weren't afraid of poisoning people to death. If something were to happen, let's see how things would end up. Seeing Zhao Yun frowning, Gooden said, Aunt Yun, I'm sorry. It was probably because of the bullfrog. Gooden's guilt was written all over his face. Zhao Yun smiled and said to Gooden, Gooden, Aunt Yun doesn't blame you. But you are a good child. You have to persuade your mother. It's okay to make less money, but don't harm others. It's best not to eat toads in case you get poisoned. Do you understand? Gooden nodded his head heavily. Zhao Yun, don't meddle in my family's affairs. Qin Hailan's reprimanding voice came from not far away. Qin Hailan walked in front of Zhao Yun and pulled Gooden over. She said to Gooden, Gooden, don't talk to random people. Hurry up and go back. Eggface lowered his head in grievance as he responded. Oh. Chapter 348. Qin Hailan pursed her lips unhappily. Who asked you to be so kind? Zhao Yun, don't meddle in other people's business. Zhao Yun, curled the corners of her lips. She couldn't be bothered to interfere. There would be a day when she would get her retribution for being so wicked. The next morning, Zhao Yun drove Mulan to Yang City. After they separated from the family, Mulan became more diligent. She had been weaving more baskets recently, thinking of selling more baskets. That way she could get more money back so that the family could live a better life. However, she had made so many baskets that Mulan's hands were covered in wounds. On the way, Zhao Yun chatted with Mulan about the family Zhu's situation. After Mulan separated from the family, Mrs. Zhu cried all day long and regretted it. Her eldest daughter-in-law was a lazy person. She didn't even take care of the housework at home. In addition, she had a child who was only a few months old. Naturally, she pushed all the housework to Mrs. Zhu. For so many years, it was Mulan who was used to working hard. Letting her do so much work at once, how could old Madame Zhu bear it? However, Mrs. Zhu complained to her son, while Zhu Dainyu sided with his wife. If Mrs. Zhu wasn't satisfied, she could always separate from the family again. Mrs. Zhu didn't dare. If the eldest branch separated from her, no one would be able to do the work in the fields. She couldn't expect an old woman like her to retire at her age, could she? How could she move with her old bones? Her third son spent a lot of money every year. Without the eldest branch, he couldn't do it. Therefore, she could only endure it and didn't dare to scold her eldest daughter-in-law. When Zhao Yun heard Mulan's words, she only felt that some people were despicable. She bullied the weak and feared the strong. Now was the right time. People like Mrs. Zhu had to be taught a lesson. Yun'er, now that we've separated from the family, I feel that our days are more promising than before. Even though we're a little poor now and have a lot of pressure on us, it's always good to work hard. Yes, the most important thing is that your mother-in-law won't have the chance to bully you. Zhao Yun joked. Haha, Mulan also laughed. Zhao Yun first sent Mulan to the market, and then went to the restaurant to send Bullfrog. This time, Zhao Yun gave him 50 kilograms, which was the maximum amount she could give him. Sun Zhangquan paid 2 taels of silver to Zhao Yun in one go. Looking at the money in her hands, Zhao Yun was in a good mood. If she could maintain this income, she would be able to live a good life soon. Yun'er, you're sending more and more goods every day, right? Sun Zhangquan said with a smile. Zhao Yun noticed that Sun Zhangxuan's tone was a little strange, so she nodded and asked. Yes, manager, what's wrong? Can't I send more? No? It's just that the sales in the store aren't as good as before, so sometimes I can't sell the goods I send. Zhao Yun'er frowned. But manager, you urged me to send as many as possible not long ago. Why are you saying that you can't sell them now? Or do you have other supply channels and don't want to do business with me? Sun Xuanhuan hurriedly waved his hand. No, of course not. Miss Yun'er, I'm just saying. You can send as many goods as you want in the future. Zhao Yun'er nodded lightly, then left the restaurant and went to the market. Zhao Yun'er and Mulan weren't in a hurry to sell the goods since they didn't need to drive the bullock cart. We can talk about how to share the money later. Let's go to Yang City to check the situation and see when we can buy the stall. Sure. After lunch, Zhao Yun'er wanted to go up the mountain, but there were a lot of officers and soldiers. These soldiers gathered in front of Zhao Yun'er's house, which attracted many villagers. They were all chattering about what had happened. The constable glanced at Zhao Yun'er and thought that a woman like Zhao Yun'er couldn't run away. There was no harm in talking to her. He said, "All right then. Miss, try to hurry." Zhao Yun'er nodded. "Thank you, brother official." After speaking, Zhao Yun'er turned and went into the house. Mu Lianfeng leaned against the door. When he saw Zhao Yun'er come in, he quickly asked, "Miss Yun'er, why are there so many soldiers here? What's the matter?" Chapter 351. Zhao Yun'er told Mu Lianfeng what the soldiers said. She didn't understand what was going on, she could only find out when she went to the government. Being accused of something for no reason, Zhao Yun'er had to wash it off. It wasn't her doing, but she wasn't afraid. If someone was framing her, she had to figure it out. "Miss Yun'er, do you want me to help you say something? They won't dare to act recklessly on my face," Mu Lianfeng said. Zhao Yun'er shook her head. "Young Master Mu, our great Zhou country does things according to the law. Although you are the heir, you can't stop the government from handling the case. If young Master Mu wants to help me, then I ask young Master Mu to help me take care of Daodu. If Mu Rongzi doesn't find it troublesome, then I can't come back, so help me find out what happened." Zhao Yun'er left the room after saying this. "Mother, Daodu, don't be afraid. Your mother will be fine." Mu Lianfeng hugged Daodu and comforted him. Seeing Zhao Yun'er leave with the soldiers, Mu Lianfeng's eyes flashed with a cold light. The news of Zhao Yun'er poisoning people and being arrested by the government spread through the village. When the old Zhao family rushed to Zhao Yun'er's house, Zhao Yun'er had already left. Xuanhuan cursed under her breath. This little b***t, she must think that she hasn't disgraced the Zhao family enough. She's capable of doing anything. "Humph, mother, isn't that right? She deserves it. She threw feces at us, now look at it. Retribution from the heavens has come." Zhao Xinhui was taking joy in other people's misfortune. Xuanhuan frowned. Although Zhao Xinhui was right, she was happy that Zhao Yun'er had this kind of ending. But when others laughed at the old Zhao family, she wasn't happy. When Zhao Yun'er got pregnant before marriage, it had been a long time since people talked about it. Now that Zhao Yun'er did such a shameful thing, even the past was dug up. The girls in the family were at the age to find a husband. Old Zhao family's reputation was bad, now all good in-laws were gone. This little slut, she should have died long ago. She doesn't do proper things and only think of crooked ways. Xuanhuan said and spat on the ground. She pointed at Liang Jinxiao and scolded again. "Look at your good daughter. God damn it, what kind of trash did she give birth to in our family?" Liang Jinxiao frowned, feeling unhappy. Yun'er was in trouble, but she was only worried. She wasn't like Xuanhuan, scolding her whenever she could. Zhao Yun'er was old Zhao family's granddaughter. Was old Zhao family really not worried about her life or death? "Mother, Yun'er must have been wronged. How could she poison others? Don't you know Yun'er's character?" Liang Jinxiao retorted. Xuanhuan snorted lightly. "How can I not understand? That little bitch is very powerful. I think she most likely stole someone else's things and was found out. Then she was poisoned and killed by someone. No wonder she's living a good life now. It turns out that she's doing these sneaky things." When Zhao Ping'er heard Xuanhuan scolding Zhao Yun'er, she immediately became excited and echoed, "That's right, mother. You only know how to speak up for that wretched girl Yun'er. You don't talk about her no matter how many shameful things she has done. Grandma is right." Chapter 352. Zhao Ping'er was pleased with Xuanhuan's praise. She smiled at Xuanhuan and said, "Grandma, of course. I'm not like Zhao Yun'er. Sigh, third daughter-in-law, why are you so different when you're born from the same womb?" Xuanhuan scolded Liang Jinxiao again. Liang Jinxiao didn't say anything. She didn't have the mood to bicker with Xuanhuan. Instead, she was thinking about what to do with Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er was taken away by the soldiers. There was no one from the government at home. If there was, she could ask someone to find out what was going on. Grandma Zhao Yun'er is gone. She probably won't be released this time. Let's take back everything in her house? Zhao Ping suggested to Xuanhuan. When Xuanhuan heard this, she felt that it made sense. That little B***TCH's donkey is still in the shed. Let's take it back and use it. Xuanhuan thought of Zhao Yun'er's donkey. It was probably worth a lot of money. Ordinary farmers didn't have it. Even if they didn't sell it, it was convenient to transport it to the streets and towns. Xuanhuan glanced at Zhao Yun'er's wooden shed and saw the donkey. It ran towards Zhao Yun'er's wooden shed with its short legs. TSK. Little donkey, come back with me. I'll get you a lot of grass to eat. Xuanhuan smiled and said to Xiao Mao. Xiao Mao raised its head and glanced at Xuanhuan. Then it turned its head away arrogantly and ignored Xuanhuan. Xuanhuan treated Xiao Mao as a little beast. Naturally, she wouldn't argue with it. After all, beasts couldn't understand human language. Little donkey. Come with me. Xuanhuan pulled a handful of straw and waved it in front of Xiao Mao. Then she untied the rope on Xiao Mao and wanted to take it away. Xiao Mao looked at Xuanhuan as if it was looking at an idiot. Did this old woman really think that it was an ordinary donkey? Did she think that it would be tricked by a few straws? Xuanhuan pulled the rope and found that it wouldn't budge. She was in a rare good mood and continued to coax Xiao Mao. Let's go. Little donkey, come to my house. My house is much better than here. It has more grass and a bigger shed. You'll definitely feel more comfortable there. Xiao Mao ignored Xuanhuan. No matter how hard he tugged, Xuanhuan refused to budge. Xuanhuan felt that it was strange. Could it be that this little bastard understood human nature and knew how to recognize people? Are you leaving or not? If you don't leave, this old woman will kill you and stew you with donkey meat. Xuanhuan threatened. Since the soft approach didn't work, the donkey decided to use the hard approach. However, Xuanhuan sadly found that Xiao Mao was too arrogant. After it glanced at Xuanhuan, it began to struggle. Stinky donkey, hurry up and leave this old woman. Xuanhuan tugged hard again. It was just a little donkey. She had experienced so many things. She didn't believe that she couldn't beat it today. The little donkey was also a little angry because of Xuanhuan. When Xuanhuan pulled it, it raised its two hind legs and kicked Xuanhuan to the ground. There was a wooden stick on the ground. It poked Xuanhuan's back. It was very painful. Xuanhuan fell to the ground and began to shout, "Ouch, it hurts so much, it hurts so much. You little beast, you really dare to kick me. Today I'll skin you and make donkey meat." Usually they saw people bullying animals. When had they ever seen animals bully people? Speaking of which, this donkey was really strange. It bullied Xuanhuan in one way after another. Eldest brother, second brother, third brother, are you blind? Hurry up and come over here. Help me catch this damn donkey. Today I must put it in a pot of oil. I'm so angry. How dare it bully an old woman like me? I'm not done with it. Xuanhuan shouted at the Zhao brothers. The men in old Zhao's family were shocked by what was happening in front of them. They couldn't react at all. Chapter 354. After Xuanhuan's reprimand, they finally reacted. Mother, I'm coming. Zhao Tianshui answered eagerly. Even if they couldn't do anything else, they could just catch a donkey. After being scolded by Xuanhuan for being heartless, Zhao Wenshi also ran over eagerly and said to Xuanhuan, Mother, I'll go catch it for you now. This time, Zhao Wenhui didn't move. What did his mother do? They still didn't know what happened to Yun, or maybe she came back safe and sound. How could they steal Yun'er's things while Yun wasn't home? Catch it. Let's eat donkey meat tonight. Upon hearing that they were going to eat donkey meat, many people in old Zhao's family became excited and gluttonous. How much meat would be cooked from such a big donkey? It would probably be very satisfying. They had eaten meat at the banquet before, but they hadn't eaten to their heart's content. Meat was expensive. How could they let them eat so much? Mother, I'll help you catch it too. Li Chuiying stepped forward and pounced in Xiao Mao's direction. Seeing that they were all heading towards Xiao Mao, Zhao Tianfu became anxious. They should be able to catch it. Xiao Mao, run. Zhao Tianfu shouted at Xiao Mao. Xiao Mao seemed to understand Zhao Tianfu's words. It kicked Xuanhua's face a few more times and then ran away. Ouch! Xuanhua yelled. This time she was kicked hard again. When she looked up, she realized that Xiao Mao had already run far away. Did this beast become a demon? Hurry up and catch it. Xuanhua yelled in a muffled voice. The men from the Zhao family hurriedly chased after it. How could they outrun a donkey? Adding on Xiao Mao's godly speed, they quickly slipped away. The men ran back, panting. Zhao Wenshui said with a bitter face, "Mother, that donkey was like flying. I couldn't catch up with it." "That's right, Mother. We can't outrun them at all. I'm so tired." Zhao Wenshi was also panting heavily. Xuanhuan wailed, "Why did old Zhao give birth to so many useless things? They can't even catch up with a donkey." Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wenshui looked at each other and felt a little speechless. They had tried their best to chase after it, but Xiao Mao's speed was not something an ordinary person could catch up to. They were not good at running. He was dog-tired from chasing after them, but he was scolded by xuanhuan instead. It was inevitable that he would feel unhappy. "Mother, you can't say that. You don't know that no one in the village can catch up with that donkey." Zhao Wenshui pursed his lips and said. Xuanhua cried even louder, "God, my old woman was bullied by the donkey. Now the donkey has run away." Seeing Xuanhua crying and yelling, the eldest daughter-in-law Feng Xianxia hurried over to remind her, "Mother, be careful. There are so many people watching. Don't be a joke." With Feng Xianxia's reminder, Xuanhua immediately reacted. Wiping the tears from the corners of her eyes, she pointed at the men and said, "Then what are you waiting for? Hurry up and help me up." "Oh, okay." The men from old Zhao's family gathered around and began to pull Xuanhua. With great difficulty they pulled Xuanhua up from the ground. "It hurts." Xuanhua rubbed her face. Chapter 355. Zhao Xinhui was straightforward and did not consider Xuanhua's feelings. Xuanhua's lips twitched a little awkwardly. "Is that so? Mother, if you don't believe me, let eldest sister-in-law and second sister-in-law smell it. Let them smell it and we'll know." After Zhao Xinhui finished speaking, Xuanhua turned her mouth to Li Chuiying and Feng Xianxia and blew a breath of air over. The smell in her mouth was really too strange. There was the smell of urine and a stench. Xuanhua did not usually brush her teeth, so she had bad breath. When she breathed out, Li Chuiying and Feng Xianxia were almost disgusted. The two of them did not dare to say anything to Xuanhua. They were afraid that Xuanhua would be angry. They frowned and endured the smell of Xuanhua's breath. Zhao Xinhui said, "Eldest sister-in-law, second sister-in-law, do you think it smells like urine? Is it very unpleasant?" Li Chuiying and Feng Xianxia were a little embarrassed. How could they say this in front of Xuanhua? If they told the truth, Xuanhua would probably be unhappy. "It's fine." Li Chuiying smiled embarrassedly. Zhao Xinhui rolled her eyes at Li Chuiying. "Second sister-in-law, you really know how to lie through your teeth. Wasn't it just that she did not dare to say it? How cowardly." I think your second sister-in-law is telling the truth. My mouth is not that smelly. I'll be fine after I rinse my mouth later." Zhao Xinhui did not pay any more attention to Xuanhua. She covered her nose and walked to the side. Xuanhua was still angry about Xiao Mao. Li Chuiying said fawningly, "Mother, don't be angry. Zhao Yun must have good things at home. We can take back all the firewood, rice, oil and salt." Yes. Second daughter-in-law, first daughter-in-law, go to the little B***'s kitchen and search for everything. Li Chuiying answered eagerly, "Okay Mom, I'll go now." With that, Li Chuiying ran into Zhao Yun'er's kitchen. Feng Xianxia hesitated for a moment before following him. "Mother, Yun'er might be fine. Isn't it inappropriate to take Yun'er's things now?" Liang Jinxiao couldn't help but say. He thought that Xuanhua had gone too far. Xuanhua rolled her eyes at Liang Jinxiao. "Why not? Did you see how badly that little bitch's donkey kicked my old woman? Her face is swollen. She should at least get some interest back, right?" Zhao Wenhua thought that Xuanhua was being unreasonable. "Mother, if you didn't catch Yun'er's donkey, you wouldn't have been kicked. Isn't this your problem?" "Damn brat, how can you say that?" Xuanhua glared at Zhao Wenhua. Zhao Wenhua was so scared that she didn't dare to say anything. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao felt uncomfortable with Xuanhua's overbearing attitude, but they could do nothing about it. If they tried to reason with Xuanhua, they would be scolded for a while. The surrounding villagers couldn't stand it anymore. No matter what Zhao Yun'er was like, old Zhao's family was still too shameless. Therefore someone stood up and said, "Auntie Zhao, what you're doing isn't right. Yun'er has already separated from old Zhao's family. Her things have nothing to do with you. We don't even know if she's fine, but you've already taken everything from her. To put it bluntly, you're thieves. If Yun'er goes to the government and accuses you of stealing and robbing, all of us can testify." Chapter 356. "Auntie Zhao, you can't go overboard. Now that Yun'er is in trouble, Shouldn't you old Zhao's family ask around and help her find out what happened? Then you can come up with a solution together, right? Why are you looting her things as soon as she left? Xuanhuan was embarrassed by these people, but how could she be willing to let go of Zhao Yun'er's things? She said, "It's none of your business. This is old Zhao's business. Now that Yun'er is gone, we should take her things back for safekeeping. Otherwise who knows if you will steal them." "And Zhao, how can you accuse others like this? You're so unreasonable." "Who's unreasonable? I'm too lazy to argue with you. It's not your family's business. Why are you poking your nose into it?" Zhao Pinger stood up and helped Xuanhuan to reply. Seeing that old Zhao's family was unreasonable, the surrounding villagers knew that it was useless to say anything. They had no right to interfere with old Zhao's business. Li Chuang and Feng Xianxia rummaged through Zhao Yun'er's kitchen. In the end they found a bag of polished rice, half a bag of flour, some oil, salt and soy sauce. Li Chuang and Feng Xianxia only took the polished rice, flour, oil and salt. Li Chuang ran to Xuanhuan with the things and said eagerly, "Mother, look, these are good things. Can we cook a meal of polished rice tonight?" Li Chuang was a glutton. Life was hard for people in the countryside, so they usually ate brown rice. It was not easy to eat brown rice alone. They would also eat mixed with other grains and wild vegetables. If they cooked a meal of pure polished rice, it would be a very good meal. Xuanhuan didn't feel reluctant to give up the food that they got from Zhao Yun'er's house. She directly agreed, "Okay, let's eat a meal of polished rice tonight." Old Zhao's family was delighted when they heard this. Li Chuang suddenly thought of something and his eyes lit up. He ran to Xuanhuan and said to Xuanhuan, "Mother, I have a good idea." "What idea? Didn't you say that you sold Daodu to such a rich family? Do they still want children?" "I asked around 2 days ago, but it seems that I haven't bought one yet." "Mother, that last Yun'er has been taken away. Let's just send that little bastard over to them. We even earned 200 taels of silver." Xuanhuan became excited when Li Chuang mentioned it. "Second daughter-in-law, you're so smart. You have so many ideas in old Zhao's family. If we get 200 taels of silver, I'll make you a new dress." Li Chuang grinned from ear to ear when she heard that. "Mother, I'm doing this for our old Zhao's family. That little bastard is probably still in the house, right? Second daughter-in-law, go and carry him out." Xuanhuan ordered. "Oh mother, I'll go now." Li Chuang ran to Zhao Yun'er's house. Chapter 357. Liang Jinxiao was crying so loudly that the surrounding villagers could hear her. Xuanhuan glared at her third daughter-in-law. She was crying so loudly because she wanted the surrounding villagers to hear her. Later the villagers would definitely attack her again. Xuanhuan took the initiative to scold Liang Jinxiao. "Third daughter-in-law, what nonsense are you talking about? When did I say that I was going to sell Daodu? I'm sending Daodu to a rich family so that he can enjoy a good life. This is for Daodu's own good. Otherwise, if Yun'er isn't around anymore, old Zhao's family will have to help raise him." Xuanhua's words made the surrounding villagers think that she meant that if Zhao Yun'er didn't come back, Daodu would have no one to take care of him. At least someone would be able to raise him if he was given away. If that was the case, then there was no need to criticize her. Outsiders didn't know what was going on, but Liang Jinxiao was well aware. She didn't want to sell him or give him away. If Zhao Yun'er didn't see Daodu when she came back, she would definitely go crazy. "Mother, just keep Daodu. You can't give Daodu away." "Third daughter-in-law, if you dare to make trouble with me again, I'll ask third brother to divorce you." Xuanhuan was so angry that she kicked Liang Jinxiao again. She really didn't know what was good for her. Suddenly, a woman's miserable scream was heard. The person who screamed wasn't Liang Jinxiao, but Li Chuang. Then, everyone saw a person flying out of the house and landing heavily on the ground. Bang! A violent sound was heard. Li Chuang was hit hard. Then Li Chuang's cries and howls were heard. Everyone was a little confused by the situation in front of them. They had yet to react to what was going on. Didn't he go in to catch the child? Why did Li Chuang fly out? Did he see a ghost? Under everyone's curious gazes, a tall man walked out of the house, followed by a little boy. It was Daodu. The man's face was cold and handsome, and his body exuded a noble and extraordinary temperament. When he appeared in front of the crowd, many people were stunned, especially the young ladies and women who came to join in the fun. They grew up in the countryside and had never seen a handsome man like Mu Lianfeng. Li Chuang struggled on the ground in pain for a while, then shouted in the direction of Xuanhuan, "Mother, Zhao Yun'er, that little B***tis is actually hiding a man in her house, shameless B***tis." After saying that, Li Chuanying continued to groan in pain on the ground. Zhao Yun'er's adulterer dared to hit her. I'll definitely teach him a lesson later. The surrounding villagers also had the same thought as Li Chuanying. A man suddenly appeared in Zhao Yun'er's house, so she must be secretly keeping him. They didn't expect Zhao Yun'er to be so shameless and so horny. In the village, they had never seen a woman like Zhao Yun'er, who was even willing to keep a man in her house. The villagers who originally sympathized with Zhao Yun'er now felt that no matter what happened, it was God's punishment for Zhao Yun'er's debauchery. Chapter 358. Hearing xuanhuan's words, Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wenshui dashed towards Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wenshui coldly with disdain in his eyes. When the two of them approached him, he raised his leg and kicked Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wenshui, sending them flying with a kick. Everyone was shocked and opened their mouths. How could he kick them so easily? It was as easy as blowing off dust. The only explanation was that Mu Lianfeng knew kung fu. The villagers had never seen much of the world and they had never seen anyone who knew kung fu. Therefore, in their opinion, anyone who knew kung fu was extraordinary and not a simple person. After Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wenshui were sent flying, Mu Lianfeng took a few steps forward and kicked Li Chuanying's mouth hard. He had never hit a woman before. It was the way of a gentleman. A man shouldn't hit a woman. However, accidents could happen. When he met a woman who was too cheap, he didn't need to be soft-hearted at all. One of Li Chuanying's teeth was kicked out and blood kept flowing out. The sound of a pig howling was even more tragic. Mu Lianfeng looked coldly at Li Chuanying, who was lying on the ground in pain. He had no sympathy for him at all. With a slight smile, Mu Lianfeng said to Li Chuanying, who was lying on the ground, "This is what you get for saying the wrong thing. I hope you will remember it next time." You. Xuanhuan pointed at Mu Lianfeng angrily. This man was too arrogant. Just as Xuanhuan was about to incite the villagers, Zhao Xinhui suddenly pulled Xuanhuan back. "Mother, stop it. He is Prince Shixi." Hearing Zhao Xinhui's words, Xuanhuan was shocked. She looked at Mu Lianfeng carefully and suddenly remembered that she had seen him before in Yang City. Her heart couldn't help trembling. If it was someone else, it would be fine, but ordinary people didn't dare to touch Prince Shixi. "Grandmother, it is Prince Shixi." Zhao Ping also recognized him and said to Xuanhuan. She stared straight at Mu Lianfeng with admiration in her eyes. She didn't expect Prince Shixi to be so handsome, and his kung fu was extraordinary. Mu was the type that women liked. When the surrounding villagers heard Mu Lianfeng was Prince Shixi, they talked about him even more. Looking at Mu Lianfeng's aura, they didn't doubt him at all. But why did Prince Shixi come to Zhao Yun'er's house? Could it be that Prince Shixi had an affair with Zhao Yun'er? It didn't make sense at all. Maybe Zhao Yun'er was Prince Shixi's mistress? The reason why Zhao Yun'er was able to live a good life these days was because of the money given by the prince. The villagers had a lot of wild imaginations, but it was very different from the real situation. Xuanhuan was afraid that Mu Lianfeng would argue with her. She was so scared that even her legs began to tremble. She walked shakily to Mu Lianfeng and apologized to Mu Lianfeng. "Prince Shixi, please don't argue with an old woman like me. I was blind and didn't recognize you." Mu Lianfeng stared coldly at Xuanhuan. He knew what this old woman had done and said when he was in the house. He restrained himself because it was inconvenient for him to go out. He was afraid that it would affect Zhao Yun'er's reputation. He didn't expect that they would target Daodu. Chapter 359. Since Zhao Yun'er wasn't around, he naturally had to protect Daodu. No matter what the reason was, these people shouldn't even think about touching Daodu. "Won't bicker with you?" Mu Lianfeng retorted, then snorted lightly. He wasn't someone who would let others off so easily. Especially someone like Xuanhuan who had crossed his bottom line. He wouldn't let them off so easily. "Yes, Your Highness, please don't bicker with an old woman like me. I don't know much." Xuanhuan immediately cowered when she met Mu Lianfeng's sharp gaze. In the end, she was still afraid that if Mu Lianfeng got angry, she might lose her old life. Zhao Xinhui also took a step forward. Her movements were a little bashful and her sweet voice rang out. She was pleading for Xuanhuan in front of Mu Lianfeng. "Your Highness, it's all my mother's fault. She's an ignorant old woman from the countryside who offended you. You're a magnanimous person, surely you won't bicker with such a person, right?" Although she said that she was pleading for Xuanhuan, it was more accurate to say that she was trying to make her presence known in front of Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng sized up this mother-daughter pair. One was mean, the other was pretentious. Both of them made him feel disgusted. "Daodu, tell me, how should I punish this grandmother of yours?" Mu Lianfeng turned around and waved at Little Bun. His voice suddenly became much gentler. Dao Du walked in front of Mu Lianfeng and glared fiercely at Xuanhuan. Just now, Xuanhuan bullied Xiao Mao and stole his family's things. She was really too hateful. Little Bun bit his lower lip, thinking about how to punish Xuanhuan. Daddy, Dao Du can't think of anything. Daddy should think of something, Little Bun said to Mu Lianfeng. How could a child think of something so vicious? Mu Lianfeng chuckled. All right then, Daddy will think about it. Since she was so good at scolding people, he would sew her mouth shut. This way she won't be able to scold anyone anymore. Mu Lianfeng said it as if it was a very simple thing, but it scared Xuanhuan. She immediately knelt in front of Mu Lianfeng and said, Your Highness, it's my fault for having a cheap mouth. But you can't sew my mouth shut. I'll die if you do that. Then tell me a punishment method. If I'm satisfied with it, I can consider changing it. Mu Lianfeng's sharp voice rang out again. The aura that erupted from his body made it seem like he was the ruler of the world. How about I slap myself a few times? Xuanhuan asked cautiously. Mu Lianfeng did not react at all, which meant that this method would not work. Xuanhuan was a little anxious. She couldn't bring herself to slap herself, hence she looked at Zhao Xinhui for help, hoping that her daughter could help her come up with an idea. However, Zhao Xinhui looked at Mu Lianfeng fawningly and said to Mu Lianfeng, Your Highness, my mother's mouth is so smelly. Why don't you make her eat a pile of sh*t? Let's see if she still dares to spout nonsense in the future. Zhao Xinhui's words caused the surrounding villagers to burst into laughter. Xuanhuan really had 8 lifetimes of bad luck to have such a daughter. It was the first time she had seen such a scammer. Aha, interesting. This daughter of old Zhao is really interesting. If my daughter was like this, I would skin her alive. Chapter 360. Who's going to marry his daughter? Each one of them is weirder than the other. Zhao Xinhui has wasted her good looks for nothing. It's as if she's brainless. She's already treating her own mother like this. How can she treat you well after marrying her? Whoever becomes her mother-in-law will be infuriated to death. Haha, Auntie Zhao is so pitiful. She doted on her daughter for nothing and treated her like a treasure. Great, now she's here to trick her. The surrounding villagers laughed happily. It was rare to see such a joke. Xuanhuan was dumbfounded when she heard Zhao Xinhui's words. How could her daughter say such things about her? She asked her to give her advice, but in the end, she tricked her even more. Xuanhuan was furious, but she couldn't vent her anger on Zhao Xinhui. She muttered in Zhao Xinhui's ear, how could you say such things? How could you let your mother eat shit? Xuanhua's tone was a little reproachful, but Zhao Xinhui didn't care and said, Mother, what's wrong with eating shit? Didn't Yuner feed you some last time? If this method isn't vicious, Master Shitzi won't let you off. Don't tell me you want Master Shitzi to sew your mouth shut or lose an arm or a leg. Xuanhuan was a little frightened by Zhao Xinhui's words. According to Zhao Xinhui, it was indeed better than having her mouth sewed, limbs broken, and having to eat shit. Mother, I'm doing this for your own good. You're already so old and can't bear the torture, but Master Shitzi definitely won't let you off easily. If Master Shitzi agrees to this method, you'll benefit greatly. Xuanhuan nodded repeatedly as Zhao Xinhui spoke. She felt that her daughter was right. You're still the smart one. Of course. Zhao Xinhui raised her chin, feeling a little proud. Although she said that to Xuanhuan, she couldn't help but snort coldly in her heart. Her mother was really stupid. Her mother believed whatever she said. If it were her, she would rather kill her than eat sh*t. Whatever, as long as her mother was willing to eat it, it was fine. After all, she was afraid of death, so she could only come up with this method. This method could help Xuanhuan solve her problem and please Mu Lianfeng at the same time. As expected, after Mu Lianfeng heard Zhao Xinhui's idea, he also curled his lips and looked at Zhao Xinhui a few more times. Zhao Xinhui lowered her head shyly. That's a good idea. Go ahead and eat. I'll let you go after you've eaten. Mu Lianfeng said with a faint smile on his face. At this moment, other than being angry, he also wanted to tease Xuanhuan. Your Highness, you really want to eat sh*t? Xuanhuan asked with a bitter face. What do you think? But there's no sh*t here? Xuanhuan muttered. How could she eat it in front of so many people? If there's no sh*t, then go ahead and get it. Mu Lianfeng replied indifferently. This. Xuanhuan frowned and was in a difficult position. When Mu Lianfeng glared at her, she was very afraid. Xiaoping, go and get some sh*t here. Zhao Xinhui instructed Xiaoping. When Zhao Pinger's name was called, she frowned. Her face was filled with unwillingness. "Any why me? If it's not you, who else can get it? Hurry up and go before your highness gets angry and sews my mother's mouth shut," Zhao Xinhui said fiercely. Chapter 361. Her aunt only knew how to bully her. Zhao Pinger was very displeased. There were so many people in her house. Why was there no one else? She probably thought that she was easy to bully. Seeing that Zhao Pinger was still in a daze, xuanhuan urged her, "Pinger, your aunt is right. Hurry up and get some." Zhao Pinger curled her lips. "Oh, but how am I supposed to scoop the milk? She couldn't grab it with her hands, right? That would be too disgusting. Go to Zhao Yun'er's kitchen and get a bowl," Zhao Xinhui replied. "Oh." Zhao Pinger reluctantly went to Zhao Yun'er's kitchen and got a bowl. Then she walked to the back of Zhao Yun'er's house. Before long she arrived at Zhao Yun'er's latrine. Zhao Pinger looked into Zhao Yun'er's latrine and was almost disgusted. If she took the bowl to scoop the feces, wouldn't her hands be stained with feces? Wouldn't it stink? Zhao Pinger pinched her nose and felt disgusted. She hurriedly rushed to the side and began to retch. It was too much. Why did she have to do such a disgusting thing? Zhao Pinger complained while thinking about how to get feces. Suddenly an idea came to her. She seemed to have thought of something and rushed out again with the bowl. She found a place where no one could see her. Zhao Pinger took off her pants and pooped in the bowl. Then she pulled a few leaves and casually wiped her butt. After tying her pants again, Zhao Pinger's body trembled. She pinched her nose with one hand and picked up the bowl with the other hand. The feces in the bowl were steaming. Zhao Pinger couldn't help but mutter in her heart. Her grandmother shouldn't blame her. Compared to Zhao Yun'er's poop, which was still filled with maggots in the latrine pit, her poop was definitely much better. Although it was disgusting, thinking about it she wanted to throw up. She didn't know whether her aunt was stupid or not. How could she come up with such an idea? Her grandmother even agreed. Fortunately, it wasn't her grandmother who ate feces but her grandmother. Zhao Pinger suddenly felt a little gloated. She hurriedly ran to the front yard of Zhao Yun'er's house. "Grandma, I got it." Zhao Pinger ran to xuanhuan and handed the bowl with feces in her hand to xuanhuan. As soon as xuanhuan saw the steaming feces, she knew what Zhao Pinger had done. So she couldn't help but curse. "You wicked girl, I asked you to get me a little. You actually pooped a big bowl for me. Did you do it on purpose? I usually give you good food, so you pooped such a big bowl all of a sudden. So much feces." Xuanhuan's mouth was like a laser gun. She really couldn't control herself. If she wanted to eat feces, couldn't she just take a bite? Mu Lianfeng didn't say much. Maybe he would let her go after taking a bite of Mu Lianfeng. So when Zhao Pinger went to get the feces, she should only get a little bit. Who would expect that Zhao Pinger was an idiot and pooped a full bowl by herself? How could she eat so much feces? Zhao Pinger curled her lips. She was unhappy in her heart. It was really a thankless task. Without waiting for xuanhuan to say anything, Zhao Baoshan vented his anger on the other members of the Zhao family. "You guys are really something. Don't you know how to stop her when I'm not around? What are you doing? Aren't you afraid of being laughed at?" Old Zhao's family felt aggrieved to be scolded by Zhao Baoshan. Zhao Wenshui said, "Father, you can't blame us. We can't stop mother from eating feces. You know my mother's character." "That's right, father. Speaking of which, it's more appropriate for you to blame little sister. She was the one who came up with the idea to make mother eat shit." Zhao Wenshui also interjected, pushing all the blame onto Zhao Xinhui. "Sorry, I can't control myself. Why did I write these things? By the way, I want to ask for your votes. Normally there will be 4 chapters. Chapter 363. Zhao Baoshan's resentful gaze landed on Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Xinhui was also a little frightened by Zhao Baoshan's glare. He muttered, "Father, I'm doing this for mother, aren't I?" The heir apparent said to sew her mouth shut, "So this is the only way. We can't let mother die, right?" Xuanhuan also hurriedly replied, "That's right, old man. You can't blame We is doing this for my own good." Zhao Baoshan glared at the mother and daughter pair, Xuanhuan and Zhao Xinhui, as if they had failed to meet his expectations. Their brains were simply filled with **t. It would be better to sew their mouths shut than to do such a shameful thing in front of the entire village. Xuanhuan and Zhao Xinhui were so frightened that they did not dare to say anything. Zhao Baoshan was the most powerful person in the family, so they had to listen to Zhao Baoshan at all times. Zhao Tianshui asked, "Father, what should we do now? Zhao Baoshan snorted softly and walked over to Mu Lianfeng. They say that you are the heir apparent, but who can prove that you are the heir apparent? It's not good to treat my wife like this, is it? Mu Lianfeng sized up Zhao Baoshan. This old man was somewhat different. He was smarter than the rest of old Zhao's family. Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping hurriedly said, "Father, he is the heir apparent." "That's right, master. He is the heir apparent. I've known for a long time." Regardless of whether he was the heir apparent or not, Zhao Baoshan could not admit that Mu Lianfeng was the heir apparent. Otherwise, with his wife's temper, she would be so frightened that she would eat sh*t in front of the villagers. Even he would not be able to stop her. Zhao Baoshan glared at Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping. "Shut up, you two." At this moment, Lu Fugui also walked over. Lu Fugui was different from the other villagers. He had more considerations. Like Zhao Baoshan, he questioned Mu Lianfeng's identity. "Right now, we don't know if you are the heir, so we can't cause trouble in our Changfeng village. If the people of our village have offended you in any way, you can settle the score with them in the future," Lu Fugui said. After Zhao Baoshan and Lu Fugui said this, the surrounding villagers also began to doubt the authenticity of Mu Lianfeng's identity. It looked like it, but it also didn't. If this wasn't the case, wouldn't old Zhao's family lose even more face? He had been played for a fool. The corners of Mu Lianfeng's mouth curled up slightly. Naturally, he couldn't prove his identity now because he didn't have the token with him. "Alright, I'll let her go for now. But remember this matter. I'll ask for it the next time you come." Mu Lianfeng glanced at Xuanhuan and said. He definitely wouldn't let Xuanhuan off so easily. "Then I'll thank you in advance, young master," Lu Fugui said. Mu Lianfeng snorted lightly. "Since you are so righteous, I hope you can handle today's matter properly." This old woman wanted to snatch Yun'er's things and kidnap Daodu to sell. I wonder how the village rules will punish her? When Lu Fugui heard this, he frowned and looked at Xuanhuan. He also didn't know the truth of the matter. He didn't expect Xuanhuan to actually do these things. This old woman was too inhumane, wasn't she? It was fine if she didn't help Yun'er when something happened, but she actually wanted to take advantage of her? Lu Fugui coughed lightly. "Of course they should be punished. As the village chief, I won't let them run amok. When Yun'er comes back, let Auntie Zhao come over to apologize. Also, they definitely can't touch Yun'er's things. Otherwise, they will be expelled from the village." Chapter 364. Old Zhao's family members began to panic after hearing Lu Fugui's words. It wasn't easy for them to get something from Zhao Yun'er, but now they had to return it. Their plan to have a meal of refined rice tonight was probably ruined. Xuanhuan also felt the pinch, but compared to Mu Lianfeng making her eat sh*t and sew her mouth shut, she could still accept it. Mu Lianfeng took a deep look at Lu Fugui. "Since that's the case, please do as you say." Mu Lianfeng then carried Daodu and said to Daodu, "Let's go, Daodu. Daddy will take you to Yang City." Zhao Yun'er had been taken away by the soldiers, so there was no point for him to stay at Zhao Yun'er's house. He couldn't be of any help and waiting would only make him anxious. Daodu naturally wouldn't leave Zhao Yun'er's parents to take care of him. With Xuanhuan's personality, it would be even more dangerous for Daodu to be taken care of by them. Yes. Daodu nodded. Zhao Baoshan saw that Mu Lianfeng was about to leave with Daodu, so he hurriedly asked, "Lord, why are you taking my great-grandson away?" Mu Lianfeng smiled sarcastically. "So old Zhao's family also acknowledges Daodu's identity?" Zhao Baoshan knew what Mu Lianfeng meant, and he looked a little ashamed. Mu Lianfeng continued, "He's my son, so of course I'm taking him away. When Yun'er comes back, I'll send Daodu back." Mu Lianfeng left with Daodu, leaving old Zhao's family members behind in shock. Many of the villagers were curious and gossipy. Is this man really Daodu's father? They look alike. The two of them look so alike. That's right. It's obvious that they are father and son. Looks like Yun'er and this man gave birth to Daodu. Now he's come knocking on our door? Yun'er found a man and gave birth to a child before she even got married. Now she even brought a man home directly. How could she do such a thing? She's really not afraid of being embarrassed. What can we do? However, if this person was the heir apparent, then wouldn't Yun'er be living a happy life? Are you going to be the princess consort in the future? I don't think that man is the crown prince. How could the crown prince be dressed so shabbily? Their clothes aren't much better than ours. Moreover, he's staying in Yun'er's shabby room. Shouldn't he be bringing Yun'er to the heir manor to enjoy life? The villagers were talking about it. Others didn't know, but Zhao Ping'er and Zhao Xinhui clearly knew that Mu Lianfeng was indeed the crown prince. They didn't know why Mu Lianfeng stayed in Zhao Yun'er's room, but the clothes he wore at that time weren't simple. Xuanhuan opened her mouth. Is Dao Du really the crown prince's son? Seeing the shock on Xuanhuan's face, Zhao Baoshan and Lu Fugue exchanged a glance and thought of what had happened 3 years ago. The person who bought Zhao Yun'er at that time was a big shot. Could it be that the crown prince was the crown prince? That woman directly caught the toad and probably mixed it in with the bullfrog and gave it to Sun Jianghuan. Sun Jianghuan didn't admit it in front of her, but he definitely received the bullfrog from Qin Hailan in private. Zhao Yun'er wasn't angry that Sun Jianghuan received the food from Qin Hailan. She was angry that Sun Jianghuan actually pushed the blame to her after the incident. The case hadn't been heard yet, so she couldn't defend herself now. She hoped that the county magistrate would give her a chance to defend herself when the case was heard in 2 days. Leaning against the wooden bars, Zhao Yun'er was tired and scared, but no one could save her at this time. Zhao Yun'er, come out. A jailer walked over and said to Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er was a little curious. She had only been here for 2 hours. Why was she released so soon? It should be night now. According to the news, there shouldn't be any trial. What was going on? Come out quickly, what are you waiting for? The jailer urged again. Oh, Zhao Yun'er responded. Chapter 367. Walking out of the cell, Zhao Yun'er followed the jailer. She didn't know where the jailer was taking her. Would she be subjected to those ancient punishments and then beaten to the point of hovering between life and death? Through this method, she would be tortured into confessing that she had something to do with the poisoning of the bullfrog in the restaurant. Zhao Yun'er had watched many TV dramas, so she was familiar with some ancient punishments. Once she pictured the scene in her mind, her legs couldn't help trembling. In addition, she had stood for a long time in the past 2 days, so her legs were already numb and weak. It was very difficult for her to walk. Sir, can you tell me what I'm going to do? Asked Zhao Yun'er in a trembling voice. What are you afraid of? The jailer heard the trembling in Zhao Yun'er's voice, so he replied with a smile. Zhao Yun'er curled her lips. Sir, how can I not be afraid? What if you brand me with a red-hot iron later, whip me and pinch my fingers with a wooden stick? Zhao Yun'er told the jailer all the punishments she could think of. The more she said, the more scared she became. How could the ancient punishments be used? They would definitely make people suffer more than they would if they were alive. Once Zhao Yun'er thought of it, she couldn't help trembling in fear. She was a normal person after all, and she also had things that she was afraid of. Seeing Zhao Yun'er talking a lot, the jailer couldn't help laughing. Miss, I think you're thinking too much. What do you mean by that? Aren't these the torture methods in your prison? The jailer twitched the corner of his mouth. The punishments in our prison are much scarier than what you've just said. What? Hearing that, Zhao Yun'er was even more scared. Seeing Zhao Yun'er's pale face, the jailer hurriedly explained, Who told you that you're going to be punished? Isn't it? No, miss, you're lucky. They're going to let you go. Zhao Yun'er was puzzled. Little brother, why did you let me go? Could it be that my innocence has been proven? The jailer had been working in prison for so many years, but he had never seen a woman like Zhao Yun'er. He didn't feel annoyed at all. Instead, he felt that Zhao Yun'er was very interesting. The jailer shook his head. No, miss, it's Lord Shitzi who wants to let you go, so you don't have to stay in prison tonight. Hearing Mu Lianfeng's name, Mu Lianfeng was surprised. She didn't expect Mu Lianfeng to come to save her so soon. But, am I going out just like that? The jailer felt that Zhao Yun'er had a lot of questions, but he still patiently explained, What is the identity of the heir? How could we, the government, not give them face when they asked for it? But your case still has to be tried. Lord Shitzi promises that he will send you here on the day of the trial. Zhao Yun'er nodded. So that's how it is. The purpose of detention was to prevent criminals from escaping in advance. Since they could guarantee that they would be present during the trial, it didn't matter whether they were in the prison or in the Shitzi's residence. The jailer couldn't help but look Zhao Yun'er up and down. Miss, you look quite ordinary. I didn't expect you to be related to Lord Shitzi. You're really something. Zhao Yun'er smiled awkwardly. I just happened to help Lord Shitzi with a small favor. Seeing that Zhao Yun'er was helping him to explain, the prison guard also cast a grateful look at Zhao Yun'er. Mu Lianfeng was silent for a moment. Then he suddenly took a step forward and directly carried Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er's feet left the ground in an instant. In a panic, she hugged Mu Lianfeng and pressed her face against Mu Lianfeng's chest. Young Master Mu, Zhao Yuner looked at Mu Lianfeng in surprise. She didn't know what Mu Lianfeng meant. Since your legs can't move, I'll carry you, Mu Lianfeng explained. There was a hint of nervousness in his tone. Chapter 369. Zhao Yun was a little worried about the wound on Mu Lianfeng's arm. It was still in the process of forming a scab. If he used too much strength, it would probably tear again. Wouldn't that hurt to death? It wasn't like she couldn't walk with her legs. Mu Lianfeng could support her. Being held in his arms, Zhao Yun felt a little strange. There was also an ambiguous atmosphere between her and Mu Lianfeng. My wound is fine now. You don't have to worry. Mu Lianfeng's pleasant voice whispered into Zhao Yuner's ear. His warm breath instantly blew into Zhao Yuner's ear. Zhao Yuner's face also turned red. Young Master Mu, you should put me down. I can walk on my own. Zhao Yun couldn't help but struggle a few times. She patted Mu Lianfeng's shoulder. If Mu Lianfeng continued to hold her, wouldn't she be embarrassed to death? Just as Zhao Yuner was struggling, Mu Lianfeng grabbed Zhao Yuner's hand and whispered into Zhao Yuner's ear, "Don't move." Mu Lianfeng's tone was commanding. Zhao Yuner saw that he was still holding her tightly. She was afraid that she would continue to move. Mu Lianfeng was fine at first, but in the end, because of her, she pulled on his wound instead. Mu Lianfeng's body had a faint fresh scent. It smelled very good. Zhao Yun couldn't help but swallow her saliva. The feeling of being hugged by Mu Lianfeng was very strange. This man's embrace was really big. His solid chest seemed to be able to give her something to lean on. If Mu Lianfeng hadn't come today, she might have to stay in prison for 2 days. How hopeless would that be? Every time she was in trouble, he was by her side and helped her in time. She had lived for more than 20 years in her previous life, but she had never met someone who treated her like this. Young Master Mu, why are you so good to me? Zhao Yun couldn't help but ask. Mu Lianfeng's body trembled slightly. Because Miss Yuner also saved me. It's only right that I do this for you. Zhao Yuner smiled bitterly. Is that the only reason? She even thought that it was an unrequited love. Of course not. Mu Lianfeng replied. Zhao Yuner's heart, which had sunk down, suddenly recovered a lot. Zhao Yuner waited expectantly for Mu Lianfeng's answer. She wanted to hear what Mu Lianfeng had to say. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled up slightly. Zhao Yuner looked up and happened to see his good-looking side profile. He was so handsome that it was a mess. Miss Yuner, you are very special. You have an inexplicable attraction to me, so I can't help but want to protect you. Mu Lianfeng answered honestly. Zhao Yuner's heart trembled. Was Mu Lianfeng confessing? If it wasn't for the huge gap between the two of them, Zhao Yuner really wanted to be together with Mu Lianfeng. The atmosphere between the two of them became even more ambiguous. Mu Lianfeng tactfully kept his mouth shut when Zhao Yuner didn't say anything. If Zhao Yuner didn't have any feelings for him, the more he said, the harder it would be to get along with her in the future. After a while, Mu Lianfeng carried her into the carriage. The carriage belonged to the heir apparent's residence. They had specially come to pick up Zhao Yuner. Zhao Yuner couldn't help but ask, Young Master Mu, am I really going to stay at the heir apparent's residence tonight? Mu Lianfeng nodded. Yes, where else would Miss Yuner go? Chapter 370. It's okay, it's no trouble. Mu Lianfeng smiled faintly. Then, okay. It was good that it was not troublesome. If it was troublesome, Mu Lianfeng could just get her a room in the inn. Young Master Mu, thank you for coming back to help me get out of prison. Did you go back to Yang City alone? Did you hand Daodu over to my parents? She was most worried about Daodu. Such a young child could not do without her taking care of him. Daodu was probably worried and afraid now, right? Speaking of Zhao Yuner's parents, Mu Lianfeng's expression was a little ugly. He did not want to mention those people from old Zhao's family. If he handed Daodu over to Zhao Yuner's parents, who knew what would happen? However, Mu Lianfeng did not want to tell Zhao Yuner about what old Zhao's family had done after Zhao Yuner left. He was afraid that Zhao Yuner would be angered to death if she heard about it. He would naturally deal with what old Zhao's family had done later. I brought Daodu back. He's now resting in the Shizi's residence. He said that he would wait for you to go back for dinner. Zhao Yuner nodded. Young Master Mu, thank you. I've troubled you with Daodu's matter. Mu Lianfeng smiled and said, You're welcome. I've also troubled Yun a lot during this period of time. These are all things that I should do. As soon as Mu Lianfeng finished speaking, the carriage jolted, and the two people in the carriage swayed. Zhao Yun suddenly fell towards Mu Lianfeng. Their faces were very close, and Zhao Yuner's lips brushed across Mu Lianfeng's cheek. Their eyes met, and Zhao Yun'er's heart could not help but skip a beat. She quickly avoided Mu Lianfeng's body. However, Mu Lianfeng did not give her the chance. Mu Lianfeng grabbed Zhao Yun'er's hand and kissed her on the lips. Mu Lianfeng's lips lingered on Zhao Yun'er's lips for a while, savoring the aftertaste. Zhao Yun'er was a little overwhelmed by this sudden incident. The sensation on her lips was exceptionally clear. She was stunned and her mind went blank for a moment. Heavens! Who could tell her what was going on? Was she kissed by Mu Lianfeng? After a few seconds, Zhao Yun'er confirmed that it was true. Mu Lianfeng really kissed her. Zhao Yun'er wanted to struggle, but Mu Lianfeng immediately reached out another hand and restrained the back of her head. Otherwise, Zhao Yun'er would have had a chance to struggle. After Mu Lianfeng kissed for about 2 to 3 minutes, he slowly let go of Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er's entire face was as red as a monkey's butt. After being suddenly released, she could not help but gasp for breath and take in large mouthfuls of fresh air. Crazy, did Mu Lianfeng know what he was doing? Why was he so impulsive? Mu Lianfeng licked the corners of his mouth as if he was savoring the aftertaste. He was also hot-headed just now and could not help but kiss Zhao Yun'er. After he reacted, he realized what he had done. Young Master Mu Yu, Zhao Yun'er did not know what to say for a moment. Should she blame Mu Lianfeng? Miss Yun'er, I was impulsive. I will take responsibility for you. Before Zhao Yun'er could question him, Mu Lianfeng spoke. This was the first time he kissed a woman and could not control his inner impulse to kiss her. Since it had already happened, as a man, he naturally had to bear the consequences. Zhao Yun'er was slightly stunned. Chapter 371. Miss Yun'er, since I've kissed you, I'll take responsibility for you. Men and women shouldn't touch each other, so we're not husband and wife. We shouldn't be so intimate. Yun'er, shall I marry you? This was the second time Mu Lianfeng had said this. The last time he was half joking. Zhao Yun'er didn't know if Mu Lianfeng was serious or what he meant. Now that Mu Lianfeng said it in an extremely serious manner, Zhao Yun'er knew that Mu Lianfeng wasn't joking. He was a mature adult. Naturally, he knew the consequences of saying this and what it meant. Zhao Yun'er's lips twitched. She was shocked by Mu Lianfeng's words. Young Master Mu, aren't you being too responsible? Our matter isn't at the stage of marriage yet. Wasn't it just a kiss? As a person from the 21st century, she could still see things quite clearly. In the 21st century, it was very normal for couples to kiss. If they got married with a kiss, who knew how many couples would get together because of this? Miss Yun'er, do you not want to marry me? Mu Lianfeng looked sad. Zhao Yun'er's lips twitched. How could she mean that? He was really overthinking. No. Young Master Mu, I just don't think it's necessary. Zhao Yun'er coughed lightly, feeling a little awkward. Her face was burning. She hadn't digested Mu Lianfeng's kiss yet. Sure enough, a man and a woman alone couldn't be in the same room. Perhaps something could happen between the two of them even if they didn't have anything to do with each other. Zhao Yun'er lowered her head shyly. In Mu Lianfeng's eyes it was very pleasant. Mu Lianfeng's throat moved. He had never been so moved by a woman before. Thus, he held Zhao Yun'er's hand and said, Yun'er, if I say that I like you, will you marry me? Zhao Yun'er was stunned. Was this a proposal? Perhaps Mu Lianfeng had deliberately kissed her just now to find an excuse to marry her. Meeting Mu Lianfeng's burning gaze, Zhao Yun'er felt a little breathless and wanted to escape. Yun'er, to marry me. I'll take good care of you and Daodu. Mu Lianfeng's voice rang in Zhao Yun'er's ears again. The sentence was like a promise. There was such a man behind her that she could rely on. No matter how strong Zhao Yun'er was, she was still a woman. Mu Lianfeng's words touched her. If she rejected him, Mu Lianfeng would probably be disappointed. Moreover, she didn't want to refuse. Young Master Mu, if I marry you, won't your parents object? Zhao Yun'er asked. She was worried that the distance between them was too great. Those people in the heir presumptive's residence wouldn't easily agree to her marriage with Mu Lianfeng. She didn't want to be with Mu Lianfeng. It was just a casual remark. It couldn't even be put on the table. Leave this matter to me. I'll take care of it. Mu Lianfeng gave her a promise. Zhao Yun'er bit her lower lip and continued, Young Master Mu, I have my own requirements for choosing a husband. My husband can only marry me and only me alone for the rest of his life. If you can't do it, don't mention this matter again. In ancient times, it was normal for a man to have 3 wives and 4 concubines. For someone of Mu Lianfeng's status, it was even more impossible for him to only have one woman. However, she was a woman in the 21st century. She couldn't share her husband with another woman. No matter how much she liked Mu Lianfeng, If he had 3 wives and 4 concubines, she would stay far away. Chapter 372. Other than Zhao Yun'er, he felt that there shouldn't be any other woman who could make him feel special and walk into his heart. Mu Lianfeng really answered straightforwardly. Then about our marriage, we'll talk about it after you've settled it. Zhao Yun'er didn't know how to face Mu Lianfeng for a moment. Were the two of them officially in a relationship? Trust me, Yun. Mu Lianfeng's hand touched Zhao Yun'er's face. Looking at Zhao Yun'er's somewhat haggard appearance, he felt a little heartache. In the future, call me Feng or Brother Feng. After we get married, call me husband. Mu Lianfeng reminded her. This sentence made Zhao Yun'er even more embarrassed. Feng. Brother Feng. She couldn't really say it. It was more comfortable to call him young Master Mu, but calling him young Master Mu seemed too distant. Zhao Yun'er responded softly. The carriage finally arrived at the Crown Prince's residence and stopped in front of the Crown Prince's residence. It was also Zhao Yun'er's first time seeing it. The entire courtyard was very big. It was probably the largest residence in the entire Yang city, just like the gardens Zhao Yun'er saw in the 21st century. The Air Manor's main door was vermilion red and extremely tall. There was a pair of lions at the door looking mighty and domineering. From the aura of the main door, one could tell that this wasn't an ordinary residence. Yun'er, let me help you down, Mu Lianfeng said and considerately helped Zhao Yun'er down from the carriage. Your house is so big, Zhao Yun'er sighed. Quickly go in. Okay. The two of them had just entered the door and walked to the hall when they saw Helianchen walking forward. Feng, I heard that you were back, so I hurried over to look for you. Look at how many days you've been missing. I was so worried. I thought something had happened to you, so I searched everywhere but couldn't find you. And there's no news of you at all. Helianchen's brows were tightly furrowed as he spoke. It was obvious that he was really worried about Mu Lianfeng's situation. Actually, it wasn't just Helianchen. During this period of time, everyone in the Air Manor had been searching everywhere for information. After such a long time, they still hadn't found Mu Lianfeng and had already reported it to the capital. They originally thought that the emperor would order a nationwide search, but Mu Lianfeng suddenly returned to the Air Manor. Wouldn't it be better if he came back now? Mu Lianfeng replied calmly without much emotion in his voice. Helianchen was a little angry when he saw Mu Lianfeng's calm expression. He was so worried about him, how could he act as if nothing had happened? Feng, where have you been all this time? Since he was fine, why didn't he send a message back? You caused all of us to be worried about you. It was really crazy. Helianchen couldn't help but complain. Looking at Helianchen's angry appearance, Mu Lianfeng smiled and said, How come I didn't know that you were so concerned about me in the past? Zhao Yun'er was a little embarrassed when she heard this from the side. Why did she feel that there was a strong sense of camaraderie between these two people? The corner of Helianchen's mouth twitched and he glared at Mu Lianfeng. Of course I'm concerned about you, you heartless fellow. Ha, Mu Lianfeng laughed and said, The situation was special at that time. I was also seriously injured and was recuperating. I didn't dare to leak my information out, otherwise something unexpected might happen again. Helianchen had just finished speaking when the sound of footsteps came from outside the door. Feng, are you all right? It was the voice of an old woman. Her tone was filled with deep concern. Then they saw an old woman in her 60s or 70s walk in. Zhao Yun'er sized up the old woman who walked over. She was dressed in luxurious clothes and wore precious jewelry. One look and she knew that she was a rich madam. Although the old woman was a little old, she still had a temperament. She should have been a great beauty when she was young. This old woman should be the Madame Mu that Helianchen mentioned? Chapter 374. Grandma. Mu Lianfeng greeted old Madame Mu affectionately when he saw her. Old Madame Mu was probably the most anxious person when he was not around these past few days. Mu Lianfeng noticed that old Madame Mu seemed to have become more haggard. There were a few strands of white hair on her temples. Feng, you're finally back. If you didn't come back, I'm afraid that I wouldn't be able to live on. Old Madame Mu took out a handkerchief and wiped the corners of her eyes. Shitzi Manor had only one heir. If anything happened to Mu Lianfeng, Shitzi Manor would have no descendants. Grandma, I'm back, right? Don't worry. Mu Lianfeng comforted her. Old Madame Mu nodded while sobbing. Yes, it's good that you're back. It's good that my Feng is back. Old Madam, you have to thank Miss Yun'er for Feng's safe return. Helianchen pointed at Zhao Yun'er and quickly helped Zhao Yun'er to claim the credit. Old Madame Mu's attention then fell on Zhao Yun'er. She sized up Zhao Yun'er and saw Zhao Yun'er's clothes. She guessed that Zhao Yun'er was a little girl from the countryside. But regardless of Zhao Yun'er's identity, she should be grateful since Zhao Yun'er saved Mu Lianfeng. So she said to Zhao Yun'er, "Thank you, miss. I'll ask the servants to give you 500 taels of silver as thanks. Tomorrow I'll ask the servants to send you back. If you have any other requests such as food, drinks, clothes and necessities, just let me know. I'll ask the servants to buy them all." Old Madame Mu's way of thanking people was to use money. But she felt that Zhao Yun'er's clothes were shabby and her family should be poor. She should lack these things the most. Zhao Yun'er felt uncomfortable when she heard that. What did old Madame Mu mean? She saved Mu Lianfeng because Mu Lianfeng had helped her before, not because of money. A stiff smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. "Thank you, old madam, but you don't have to give these things to Yun'er. Although Yun'er saved young Master Mu also helped me a lot before." Old Madame Mu was stunned. She frowned and said, "Miss, are you not satisfied with my arrangement? If you have any requests, feel free to let me know. My residence will definitely satisfy you." Zhao Yun'er quickly waved her hand. "Old Madam, you misunderstood me. I don't need any reward." Old Madame Mu couldn't help but take a few more glances at Zhao Yun'er. She still did not understand this woman. Why didn't he want the money? Then what did she want? What was she planning? Old Madame Mu didn't believe that Zhao Yun'er didn't want to gain any benefits. She had seen many scheming women. In her opinion, Zhao Yun'er must want to gain more benefits. "Miss, although you saved my grandson, you can't go too far. We can give you the money, but don't even think about having any ideas about my grandson. Don't think about being his concubine. Even if we have a maid in the same room, it's not something a country girl can do." Old Madame Mu said to Zhao Yun'er. She told her the guess in her heart. She looked at Zhao Yun'er with disgust. Zhao Yun'er was really angered by old Madame Mu's words this time. What was this old woman talking about? Chapter 375. "Old Madam, you're thinking too much." "I didn't mean that," Zhao Yun'er said. "You didn't mean that? Then why don't you want the money from the Shitzi mansion? Don't tell me you really don't want anything after saving my grandson?" Old Madame Mu asked in disbelief. Zhao Yun'er twitched the corner of her mouth. She felt that it was a little ironic. She had not married Mu Lianfeng yet, but old Madame Mu looked down on her and treated her like this. If Mu Lianfeng really married her, old Madame Mu Lianfeng would make a scene. She knew that in this era, there was a big gap between the two people's status, but she did not expect it to be like this. Could Mu Lianfeng really solve it? She could already foresee that Mu Lianfeng would face a lot of difficult problems if he married her. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Zhao Yun'er and hurriedly said, "Grandma, how can you say that about Yun'er? She doesn't want anything from me. Isn't it humiliating to give her money directly?" When old Madame Mu heard Mu Lianfeng's angry tone, she quickly said, Just by looking at this girl you can tell that she doesn't come from a good family. Giving her money is for her to improve her life and help her. How did it become humiliating?" "Grandma, although Yun'er's family background is not good, she is also proud. She will definitely not accept money from others. Money is a good thing, but it is not worth mentioning to some people. It's not right for you to take money directly like this. Look, Yun'er didn't accept it, right? Since she didn't accept it, why did you say those aggressive words and make her sad? Who would thank someone in this way?" Mu Lianfeng stood on Zhao Yun'er's side and scolded old Madame Mu. Zhao Yun'er wanted to say that it was not that she did not care about money. She was working hard to do business now just to earn more money and live a good life with Daodu. She refused not because of her pride, but because she did not think that Mu Lianfeng owed her a favor. On the contrary, Mu Lianfeng helped her a little more. This time, if it were not for Mu Lianfeng, she was afraid that she would still be in the dark and dirty prison in fear. After hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, old Madame Mu realized that her words were harsh. But that was what she thought. Her grandson was angry. She could not continue to lose her temper in front of Zhao Yun'er. Anyway, as long as she was here, Zhao Yun'er wouldn't have any bad thoughts about her grandson. Okay. It's Grandma's fault. Grandma shouldn't have said that. But she saved you. Tell me, how should I repay her? You can't really do nothing, right? Old Madame Mu asked. She wanted to repay Zhao Yun'er for saving Mu Lianfeng once and for all. In this way, Zhao Yun'er would not have the chance to pester Mu Lianfeng. Without waiting for Mu Lianfeng's reply, Zhao Yun'er said, "Old Madam, there's really no need. It's all thanks to young Master Mu's help that I got into trouble this time. We're even now, so there's no need to repay him. Old Madame Mu looked at Mu Lianfeng in confusion. Mu Lianfeng then told her about Zhao Yun'er's situation. After hearing it, old Madame Mu was relieved. She was wondering why Zhao Yun'er did not want her money. So this was the reason. If Shixi Mansion helped her this time, it could be considered that they had repaid Zhao Yun'er's kindness. Chapter 376. Mu Lianfeng nodded faintly and responded. Zhao Yun'er could not help but feel bitter when she saw the 180-degree change in old Madame Mu's attitude. It was not that she did not understand old Madame Mu's thoughts. But now that she had confirmed that she did not want to rely on Mu Lianfeng, she was happy. Miss Yun, then you should stay in the Shixi Mansion for the next 2 days. I will ask the servants to take good care of you. I guarantee that you will eat and drink well. Old Madame Mu said with a smile. Zhao Yun'er did not want to argue with old Madame Mu about her sudden change in attitude. She was even more lazy to argue with old Madame Mu. So she nodded and said, "Thank you, old Madame. You're welcome. This is what I should do. Miss Yun'er saved our Feng. The entire Shixi Mansion is grateful. If you need any help, you can ask." "Thank you, old Madame." As soon as Zhao Yun'er finished speaking, she heard Daodu's voice outside the room. "Mother." When Mu Lianfeng went to the prison, he asked the servants to take care of Daodu. At first, when Mu Lianfeng came back with Daodu, Daodu called Mu Lianfeng father. The servants thought that Daodu was Mu Lianfeng's illegitimate son. But they thought that it was impossible. If Mu Lianfeng had a son, then he would be the Shixi Mansion's little Shixi. Old Madame would be overjoyed if she knew. She would not let the Shixi Mansion's child wander outside. Maybe there was another reason. Old Madame Mu also liked children. When she heard Daodu's voice, her eyes lit up. Hearing Daodu's soft voice, she knew that he was a cute little guy. "Mother." Daodu saw Zhao Yun'er when he entered the room and rushed to Zhao Yun'er. She burrowed into Zhao Yun'er's arms. After all, he was only a 3-year-old child. He simply couldn't leave his mother. Daodu was also worried that Zhao Yun'er had been away for such a long time. After returning to Zhao Yun'er's embrace, Daodu hugged Zhao Yun'er tightly. He was afraid that if he let go, Zhao Yun'er would leave again. Zhao Yun'er caressed Daodu's smooth little face and said softly, "Mother is here." "Mother, Daodu misses you so much. Mother just left not long ago, why do you want to die already?" Zhao Yun'er's lips curved into a faint smile. At this moment Zhao Yun'er saw Daodu. Her anger from old Madame Mu immediately dissipated. Old Madame Mu couldn't help but look at Daodu, who was in Zhao Yun'er's arms. Looking at Daodu's height, she knew that he was a few years old. She really didn't expect Zhao Yun'er to be the child's mother. Now she didn't have to worry about Zhao Yun'er having other motives. It was impossible for a married woman with a child to have anything to do with her grandson. "Miss Yun'er's child is already so big, right?" Old Madame Mu asked with a smile. She seemed to be in a good mood. Zhao Yun'er responded. Then she held Daodu's little hand and walked to old Madame Mu. She said to Daodu, "Daodu, great-great-grandmother." Children had to be polite. It was one thing for her to have a problem with old Madame Mu, but she still had to be polite on the surface. Daodu was also very obedient. When he heard Zhao Yun'er's words, he went to old Madame Mu and said sweetly, "Hello, great-grandmother." Chapter 377. The two of them chuckled. Business was pretty good. In just one morning, Mulan had sold nearly 200 copper coins. To Mulan, this was already a large sum of money. Although she couldn't do this every day, she could still make do with a few hundred copper coins a month. She could barely get by. Mulan sighed with emotion. "I'm thinking about when I can save more money and build a few houses. At that time I'll have a separate house. It'll be more comfortable for my family to live together." At present he continued to live with old Madame Zhu. When he heard old Madame Zhu's voice, he couldn't help but feel a little annoyed. If he had his own house and lived a little further away, he really wouldn't have anything to do with the Zhu family. Zhao Yun'er could understand Mulan's feelings. It's always good to have a dream. Life will get better slowly. Mulan sighed. That's true. Building a house costs a lot of money. Now that we're selling these things, it's already good enough that we can live on, let alone building a house. In the end, it was because of money. Zhao Yun'er looked at Mulan's injured fingers. She couldn't continue weaving baskets for a long time. It was tiring and hurt her hands. The most important thing was that she didn't make a lot of money. If she wanted to live a better life, she had to think of another way out. What kind of business could she do in this town? Zhao Yun'er suddenly thought of the snack stall. If she did it alone, she would be busy and strenuous. But if she did it with 2 people, it wouldn't be so tiring. She could also make more money. Zhao had a feeling that she couldn't do business with Sun Jianghuan for long. She didn't know what Sun Jianghuan and Qin Hailan were doing. If she really couldn't do business with Sun Jianghuan, she could make a plan in advance. During the day, Mulan's baskets were almost sold out. After packing up the remaining things, the two of them went to the market to buy some vegetables. Mulan directly weighed a caddy of pork and brought it back. The children at home hadn't eaten anything good. She had some money on hand, so she had to buy some to nourish the children and satisfy their cravings. On the way back, Zhao Yun told Mulan about the snack stall plan. Mulan was very interested. Yun, if possible, I want to do it with you. I'm not afraid of hard work. I'm happy as long as we can make money. Zhao Yun nodded. As long as she could make money, she didn't mind even if it was a little hard. But Yun, I don't have the capital. Zhao Yun patted Mulan's shoulder. Mu. Yun, I feel that you're the one who loses out. How about this? When we share the money, you can get more and give me less. Or I can work for you every month and you can give me a little salary. Mulan, don't you know our relationship? Don't be so polite with me. We can talk about how to share the money later. Let's go to Yang City to check the situation and see when we can buy the stall. Sure. After lunch, Zhao Yun wanted to go up the mountain, but there were a lot of officers and soldiers. These soldiers gathered in front of Zhao Yun's house, which attracted many villagers. They were all chattering about what had happened. Chapter 378. Fortunately, he was quick-witted and found an excuse. Otherwise, Matriarch Mu would definitely nag at him about his marriage again. It would be fine if he married Zhao Yun, but the problem was that Matriarch Mu liked Murong Shuang, the cousin he had no feelings for. Father, does your head really hurt? Do you want Daodu to massage it for you? Daodu asked considerately. Looking at Daodu's worried little eyes, Mu Lianfeng was touched. His son was filial. No, father was just teasing your great-grandmother. Mu Lianfeng said with a smile. Ah, father? That's not good, right? My mother said that I can't tease people, especially the younger generation. I can't tease the elders. Daodu frowned with a serious expression. He said seriously. Mu Lianfeng felt that he was being lectured by a child. He couldn't help but laugh. All right, it's father's fault. Father shouldn't tease great-grandmother. Then does father's head really not hurt? It doesn't hurt. That's good. Daodu smiled at Mu Lianfeng. Helian Qin looked at the interaction between Mu Lianfeng and Daodu. Why did he feel that the two of them were more and more like father and son? Mu Lianfeng called for the servants to bring some food over. He had dinner with Zhao Yun and Daodu. The next day, Zhao Yun and Daodu stayed in the crown prince's residence. Mu Lianfeng went out to help Zhao Yun investigate the case. Zhao Yun couldn't get involved with the case. She believed that Mu Lianfeng could help her settle it. With Mu Lianfeng busy, Zhao Yun was free and at ease. She stayed in the young prince's mansion because old Madame Mu felt that she was no longer a threat. She treated Zhao Yun kindly. Especially to Daodu, he doted on him as if he were his own great-grandson. Not only did he bring Daodu to play in front of him, but he also took out all the delicious pastries in the residence for Daodu to eat. Daodu usually stayed in the countryside and had never eaten such delicious food before. It was already rare for her to eat a piece of candy, let alone these expensive pastries. Great-grandma, it's delicious. Daodu smiled at Matriarch Mu. Looking at Daodu's puffy cheeks, Matriarch Mu smiled and said, Eat more if you like it. Great-grandma has a lot here. Great-grandma, you're so good to Daodu. You're even better than Daodu's own great-grandmother. Daodu likes you. Daodu's soft voice, coupled with her charming smile, made old Madame Mu burst with joy. How could there be such a cute child? Looking at Daodu reminded her of her Feng when he was young. Didn't your own great-grandmother treat you well? Matriarch Mu asked with a smile. Daodu paused and shook his head. He looked pitiful. Great-grandma didn't treat Daodu well. She treated mother even worse. Why? Didn't your father protect your mother? Daodu didn't have a father when he was young. Great-grandma and the rest scolded mother. They said that mother was shameless to give birth to Daodu. Daodu was still young and couldn't express clearly about Zhao Yun's pregnancy before marriage. However, Matriarch Mu still pieced it together from Daodu's words. Zhao Yun gave birth to Daodu with another man before marriage. She couldn't help but sigh in her heart. Why was Zhao Yun such a woman? She really couldn't tell. Chapter 379. No, she had to keep a distance from Zhao Yun after her grandson finished his business. If they didn't have a chance to get along, Zhao Yun wouldn't be able to seduce him. Mother is so pitiful. When Daodu grows up you must protect mother well. Daodu said seriously. Seeing that Daodu was so sensible and filial, old Madame Mu liked him even more. She thought that it would be great if Daodu was Mu Lianfeng's biological son. It was a pity that such a child had a mother like Zhao Yun. When it was time for lunch, Zhao Yun came to old Madame Mu to pick up Daodu for lunch. Zhao Yun found that old Madame Mu's attitude towards her seemed to be much colder. She didn't know what she had done to offend old Madame Mu. Zhao Yun was not very enthusiastic when old Madame Mu was indifferent to her. This was how people interacted with each other. At least they treated each other equally. Miss Yun, I like Daodu very much. Why don't you let Daodu live with me in the Shixi's mansion in the future? Anyway, Daodu has recognized Feng as his godfather. You're a young girl and it's not easy for you to get married with a child. Let me take care of Daodu. You can also find yourself a husband. Don't you think so? Old Madame Mu's words almost made Zhao Yun vomit blood. What was this old woman talking about? Why would she give her own son to someone else? The corner of her mouth couldn't help but twitch. If it weren't for old Madame Mu's identity she would have scolded her. Thank you, old madam, for your love for Daodu and your concern for me. But Yun only wants to live with Daodu in this life. I don't want to get married. You're a young girl. How can you not get married? You have to find a good family to marry. How about this? Many of the servants in my mansion have grandchildren who are about the same age as you. Do you want me to introduce them to you? With me in charge it will definitely be better than finding someone else on your own. The more old Madame Mu spoke, the angrier Zhao Yun got. What old Madame Mu meant was that her status was only good enough for the descendants of the servants in the Shixi manor. She really looked down on her. Although old Madame Mu did not scold her, Zhao Yun felt that it was more embarrassing than scolding her like xuanhuan. Thinking about it, it was a little ironic. If someone of her status were to marry Mu Lianfeng, old Mistress Mu would think that she was being delusional. She had previously promised Mu Lianfeng that she would marry him. Perhaps this was something that would never happen in this lifetime. She didn't want to be humiliated like this in the future. There's no need for that. Thank you for your concern, old madam. Yun knows what's going on with Yun. It's time for dinner. I'll take Daodu out for dinner. Old Madame Mu wanted to continue persuading her, but Zhao Yun did not seem to listen at all. She looked at her with disdain. So she nodded and let Zhao Yun take Daodu out for dinner. After Zhao Yun left, old Madame Mu snorted softly. What kind of person was this? A country bumpkin was a country bumpkin. She had no manners at all. Fortunately, she would not have any dealings with her in the future. Otherwise she would be furious. For a woman like Zhao Yun, it was good for her to introduce her servants' grandchildren to her. She really did not know how to appreciate favors. After marrying into the Shixi manor, she would be a city dweller. Now it seemed that Zhao Yun only deserved to marry those dirty men in the countryside. Chapter 380. On the way back, Daodu noticed that Zhao Yun seemed a little unhappy. He asked in a soft voice, "Mother, what's wrong?" "It's nothing," Zhao Yun said. "But mother's face is gloomy. I know you're unhappy." Daodu pursed his lips. His little face was full of worry. Seeing that her son was so concerned about her, Zhao Yun felt a little better. She pulled the corners of her mouth into a smile. "No, you saw mother smiling. That's why you're not unhappy. Children were easy to fool." Daodu was also fooled by Zhao Yun for a moment. He saw that Zhao Yun's face had a smile again. Daodu also cracked his little mouth into a smile. "Mother, great-grandmother is very good to Daodu. Today she brought a lot of delicious things for Daodu." "That's good." Zhao Yun couldn't deny that although old Madame Mu's attitude towards her was a little bad, she was really good to Daodu. "Mother, when will we be able to live in such a big house? Our house is so small, so small." After having a comparison, not to mention Daodu, even Zhao Yun was a little disgusted by her broken thatched house that was about to collapse. Living in a big house was really much more comfortable. "Mother, work hard to earn money. In the future you can also build a big house." Aha! Based on old Madame Mu's current attitude towards her, Zhao Yun estimated that the matter between her and Mu Lianfeng would be temporarily put on hold. Therefore she still had to earn her own living and take care of Daodu to live a good life. After 2 days the case officially went to court. After Mu Lianfeng's investigation and evidence, the final responsibility fell on Qin Hailan. The bullfrog that had eaten the food was taken from the batch of goods sent by Qin Hailan. The bullfrog sent by Zhao Yun had no problems. The county magistrate acted according to the evidence and finally convicted Qin Hailan. Although Qin Hailan didn't intend to murder people, she couldn't shirk the responsibility of selling a toad and a bullfrog for money. Finally, Qin Hailan was sentenced to 10 years in prison. The Fulian restaurant had no intention of harming anyone, but they couldn't avoid responsibility. Thus, the restaurant was fined 200 taels of silver. Just like that, the case was closed. Zhao Yun'er was finally cleared of the charges and was not implicated. Walking out of the yamen, Zhao Yun'er heaved a sigh of relief. If she was alone, she wouldn't have been able to investigate so many things, let alone clear her name. Perhaps she could only admit that she had been wrong this time. The one who had been imprisoned was her, not Qin Hailan. Zhao Yun'er and Mu Lianfeng walked out of the cell side by side. Miss Yun'er. Sun Zhongquan called out to Zhao Yun'er. He also felt a little guilty about this matter. He knew that he had wronged Zhao Yun'er. If he had confessed Qin Hailan earlier, Zhao Yun'er wouldn't have been implicated. Sun Zhongquan came over. Zhao Yun'er had a cold attitude and didn't want to say anything more to Sun Zhongquan. Miss Yun'er, I'm really sorry. It's all my fault. I apologize to you. At that time I was blinded by lard and accepted that woman's things. Now this matter has happened. Zhao Yun'er snorted softly. Shopkeeper, I've warned you before. Don't let anything happen. Now that something really happened, I can only say that your restaurant lost 200 taels of silver. You asked for it. Chapter 381. Sun Zhongquan felt a little regretful when he thought about it. Not only was he fined 200 taels of silver, but the restaurant's reputation would also be affected in the future. What a restaurant was most afraid of was that customers would eat in the restaurant and have problems, let alone die from eating. The restaurant had been closed for 2 days, and Sun Zhongquan already had a premonition that the business would be miserable when he reopened the restaurant after returning. If he wanted the business to improve, he had to find some unique things. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to attract customers at all. Shopkeeper, it's useless to say this now. Things have already happened and there's no way to reverse it. You'd better take care of yourself in the future. And the contract we made before, you can only buy from me, but you violated the contract, then the cooperation between the two of us ends here, and there is no need to have any contact in the future. Zhao Yun'er said coldly. This kind of person wasn't suitable for her to cooperate with in the long term. This time there was a problem, but fortunately it was solved. She couldn't guarantee that there wouldn't be any problems with cooperating with Sun Zhongquan in the future. If something happened, it would be too late to regret it. There were other ways to earn money, so Sun Zhongquan was fine. Miss Yun'er, it's my fault, but we won't stop cooperating. Sun Zhongquan frowned and asked embarrassedly. What's the point of cooperating with a person like Boss Sun who goes back on his word? Zhao Yun'er replied. She didn't want to be entangled with Sun Zhongquan anymore, so she pulled Mu Lianfeng and left. On the way, Mu Lianfeng smiled and asked, Yun'er, are you really not cooperating with that restaurant? Zhao Yun'er nodded and responded. It's good that you don't cooperate. You have to wake up early every day to deliver goods. It's quite tiring. Mu Lianfeng's tone was filled with heartache. Zhao Yun'er was a woman after all. She couldn't work as hard as a man. Since she had him in the future, he could give Zhao Yun'er someone to rely on. Yun'er, I'll take care of you in the future. I'll take care of you. Mu Lianfeng held Zhao Yun'er's hand as if he was making a precious promise. Zhao Yun'er and Mu Lianfeng looked at each other and smiled. A woman should be most touched by a man saying this to her, but Zhao Yun'er also understood that this kind of words couldn't be trusted. She was a modern woman with her own independent thoughts. She didn't want to rely on a man for the rest of her life. Let's talk about this later. I'm afraid your grandmother won't agree to our marriage. In? Zhao Yun'er could feel Mu Lianfeng's sincerity.